What's up? This is Alaric Ong, and today I'm here with Marissa Romero, who's a YouTube expert. She's been running a business behind her YouTube channels for the past 5 years and has a collective 220,000 subscribers and over 8.5 million views on the platform. She helps establish business owners impact and scale more without the burnout while also working less. And her goal is to help growing business owners leverage YouTube not only to create a steady stream of leads, but make it their primary marketing effort that allows scaling to happen seamlessly. She's already helped over 350 clients generate over $2 million in revenue, gain over 350,000 subscribers, and create millions of views on the platform. So welcome to the show, Marissa.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alaric. That was incredible. And I'm so happy to be here and give value to your audience and your subscribers. And yeah, thank you so much.
So thank you for being on the interview. So let's start. So maybe you can share more about like your YouTube career. How did it start? And like, was it rosy from the beginning, or did you meet through a lot of roadblocks at the start? And then, yeah.
Yeah, no, we could start there. So my story starts back in kind of 2016 when I kind of found out that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, because before I was a civil engineer, I was a bridge engineer for almost 7 years. So I had, the traditional corporate and government job, and that was going to be my direction in life. And I didn't even know that entrepreneurship was for me. But I went on a family trip. We went to Europe, and that was the first time I had been to Europe ever in my life, in my late 20s. And I'm like, whoa, that trip basically inspired me to try to figure out a way where I could travel the world and make money while doing it, because I realized I really wanted to explore the rest of the world, because it's just, there's so much out there, right? And so that kind of got me on a path of entrepreneurship, and it started like me being curious about network marketing first, and then second, I dove into e-commerce. Like I started an e-commerce store, I did drop shipping, and it didn't go all that well. I mean, I made money from it, yes, but I had also lost a lot of money because I was investing in mentors and also like Facebook ads, and it was just kind of a big mess. So like my first year and a half of entrepreneurship was rough. I was kind of more of a entrepreneur, right? Because I didn't have anything steady going on, and it was just like constant, what am I going to do? I need to make something happen. So kind of at the same time, as I was ending my e-commerce businesses, I booked a one-way ticket to Thailand. And so I was over there in Thailand. I was kind of officially a digital nomad. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a ton of debt, like 6-figure debt, and I didn't have a steady revenue coming in. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So a couple of months after trying to figure it out in Thailand, I'm like, I'm going to start with YouTube, or I'm going to focus on YouTube, because I knew that it's the best platform to be on. It's the best organic traffic in the world. I could grow my personal brand, etc. Because I had seen people in our industry like posting, and I'm like, they're making money and they don't even have that many subscribers. I'm like, I can do that too. So that's basically what I decided to do. Like, it was all in, do or die. I started in April 2018, and I'm like, I'm just going to post every day, literally every day. And yeah, about 30 to 40 days after I started, I made my first $33.50 sale. And that was all I needed. I'm like, this sale came from YouTube. It works. I'm just going to keep going. So then after that, like a couple months, I got monetized on my channel. I made my first $1,000 sale, and it was, kind of the rest is history. So yeah.
I see. And tell me more about how you are now. Like, I know you have 220,000 subscribers, millions of views. Tell me more about like the journey so far.
Yeah, the journey has been, it's been a journey. My channel, my channel, my business, just personally, it's been a journey. I mean, entrepreneurship is a constant road of ups and downs, whether that's financial, whether that's, up here, like mental health, and also your mindset. The mindset is like the key to everything we do in business. It is definitely not like emphasized enough, because on this entrepreneurial road, you're going to get challenges all the time, big, small, and they're going to be different. And your mindset is going to determine how you react to literally everything. And so it's been a great journey. I mean, I've had like this interview, I've had tons of podcast interviews. I mean, well over 100. I'm sure I can't even keep track anymore. I've been able to be a speaker at events. I've had PR media opportunities, like featured in different companies and different articles. I've been able to do really cool brand deals and sponsorships on the channel. Like once your channel hits a certain subscriber point, like your inbox starts filling up with people, companies wanting to promote whatever it is they're doing on their channel, or on your channel. And so it's been incredible, because like with YouTube comes so many more opportunities, as opposed to the other platforms where they don't hold as much weight as all, like an Instagram following, a TikTok following. Like YouTube is pretty much king. And long form content definitely dominates. So yeah, I would say like those are all the positive things, but also like there's been crazy things. Like when I was almost going to cross 100,000 subscribers, my channel was hacked and deleted. That's a crazy story in itself. But yeah, basically I had an ex virtual assistant who was upset with me. It's a long story, because I actually fired her because this person was, stealing hours from my business. And I'm like, what the heck? So I fired her right away. She retaliated, and it was totally my fault for like not resetting passwords and not having the security like tight. But that was just devastating, because she like hacked my channel, like hacked my whole business, like tried to hack in the other social medias, and that was like a mess. So that was a huge like and that was all like the same week that we went into a global pandemic. Like it was literally like March 8th, 2020. So it's like my channel was hacked and deleted. My business felt like it was taken away from me overnight. We go into quarantine. There's this thing called COVID. I have no clue what's going on. What the hell? So that was a very, very, entire next few months was just hard. It was emotional. Like it was frustrating, and things just happen. And like, you have to just, you're either made to be able to go through those types of things or you're not, so yeah.
And you must and YouTube probably didn't help you to reinstate your account, and you had to start from a brand new account, or?
No. So actually YouTube, they did it's kind of crazy that, channels, people try to hack, hackers try to hack people's channels all the time. So thankfully YouTube has a great support system, even though during the time it seemed awful because they were like super slow to respond, but thankfully they were able to recover the channel, and give it back to me. But it was really weird, because when I got it back, it wasn't like it was before. Like it was kind of like starting over again, because like the analytics were crap. I had lost subscribers. And so I had to like get the momentum back up, to get the views and the revenue and all of that back up. So it was a fight. Yeah.
So if you don't mind sharing, like in terms of the monetization part, right? Like how much of income comes from YouTube versus from, let's say, JVs with other speakers versus from Facebook ads versus from all these other platforms?
Yeah. So do you mean like YouTube organic traffic?
Yeah, YouTube organic traffic versus YouTube ads versus just a percentage. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me see. I would probably say, let's see, from the YouTube organic traffic, I would say like 60% of the revenue comes from there. And then
Wow.
we honestly don't do paid ads. And we haven't, like in the future, yeah, we definitely want to, but that comes like from the biggest portion and driver of the business comes from organic. And then other revenue streams are like Google AdSense, brand deals, affiliate commissions. Also, we're kind of shifting right now to a model where we are doing like more like a done for you, done with you type agency, which is more higher ticket. So like we're kind of shifting our model to that. So yeah, it's a transition period, but I would say like a big percentage comes from the organic traffic. Yeah.
Nice. So purely just from organic posting, and then you just like people go to your funnel, they go to your webinar, or what's your funnel to turn them into a client?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, we basically like optimize every single video that we post to generate leads. And what that involves is like a call to action, like saying like, hey, by the way, like download our whatever, or sign up for our webinar, or whatever the call to action is. Like we definitely optimize it in every video, and like every single video has a strategy to it. Everything from the intro, what we say in the video, where we place the call to action, and even the outro, right? Because the outro is really important on YouTube, and a lot of times it's missed. So if for example, a big mistake people do is like first saying way too much in the introduction, like, oh, subscribe, download, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're wasting time, you're losing viewers. Like, don't do that ever. And the same thing at the end, like people end their video too soon. And so that when people know it's the end of the video, they'll leave, instead of like you saying, hey, if you like this video, click on the next video and keep on watching. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So that it's like a cross-selling, basically, just a free version of cross-selling. Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about some tips and strategies, okay? So like just before this interview, you gave me a lot of good tips. And I know that you're definitely an expert at this. So maybe we can just go through a little bit about those same tips to the audience. I think you mentioned things like changing the thumbnails, etc. So maybe you can give some tips to the audience about how to grow a successful YouTube channel.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want me to like talk about your channel specifically, or
just in general?
Okay, yeah. So I would say like whether you're starting from scratch or whether you have a channel and you're kind of struggling to grow it, like the kind of phases and steps that I look for first is the channel branding. Like that's extremely important. And it needs to be optimized. So a big mistake I see is like really bad thumbnails on channels. Branding is just all over the place because people, use different colors for different thumbnails. And it's just like, the problem with that is like the channel doesn't establish the authority, and it's confusing for people coming back, because we want the viewer to know like, hey, that is an Alaric on thumbnail, that's a Marissa Romero thumbnail, and we want it to identify with your business and brand, right? And that's important because that's the way you get your videos and the thumbnails to show up and get suggested by other channels and other videos. And so that's the branding is kind of like step one. And like you're establishing your channel pillars. Like when people land on the channel, they should know immediately like, okay, what am I going to get for this channel? Like, what should I expect, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that there's the way to do that is with the channel branding and what's in the banner. So there's that. Then the next thing is, just evaluating like the next 15 videos that you're posting and making sure that, again, goes back to thumbnails, like the thumbnail copy and the titles are like super, super, super important. So making sure like the next 15 titles are optimized, not just for YouTube search, but they're optimized to get suggested traffic, right? And then the other thing too is like the habits and routines that you establish for the channel. And this is something that we feel like with our programs and courses and coaching, like we feel like we're definitely experts with, is helping people establish those routines and those systems and the team behind the channel. Because like for a busy business owner, you don't have time to be figuring out, oh, when am I going to film? What is it going to be about? Who's going to edit the video, blah, blah, blah. Like you have to have those systems established. So we really emphasize like, hey, if you're an entrepreneur wanting to take YouTube seriously, like definitely get that team behind the channel ASAP, because that team, they're going to pay for themselves over and over. Like the YouTube editor and the channel manager, and between them, they take care of the editing, the graphic design, the pre-optimization, the post-optimization, keywords, scripts, like all these things. And even, strategies behind the scenes that really you don't have time to do, but they are definitely important and need to be like checked off the list, right? Because for example, a lot of YouTubers miss like posting in the community tab, and they don't realize that the community tab is within itself another source of traffic, right? And another way to engage with your audience, to get more subs, to get more leads, like whatever your number one goal is with YouTube. Yeah.
So in terms of like your team, right? Did you so tell me more about your team. How many people are there? How many editors are there, etc.? And did you train them from the ground up, or like you found someone that was already good at this?
Yeah. So there's 2 editors on my team.
Okay.
Like they're full-time on our team. And so we have them, they're in charge of all the editing, they're in charge of the thumbnails, any graphic design that we need. They're also in charge of like helping me, right? Come up with ideas, we incorporate our own video ads in our videos. So they're also in charge of like helping me with creativity and ways to like put them in the video. That has been just a growing effort of doing it together, right? And so things that I've learned that they've taught me and that I've taught them, we've kind of grown together, honestly. And so, and a lot of the things that we know is like, are things that we teach now to other editors and stuff so that they don't make the same mistake. And now the channel manager, that's like a really important person on the team, because they communicate with you as the YouTuber and also the editor. So it's like a big, the communication between the 3 have to be really strong. But that the manager, like they are in charge of like the YouTube calendar. They can help come up with titles. They help with pre-optimizing the video, like doing all the best practices, like going through that checklist, publishing the video. They can help with, posting in the community tab, emailing the videos to your list, et cetera, et cetera. So, I would say just over the past 5+ years, like I've learned this stuff and just really have like dedicated to like, knowing what works and, knowing just over and over how to, analyze the analytics from the channel as well to see like what the game plan is going to be for the content for the next couple of months.
Got it. So if you don't mind sharing, maybe you can share the whole process from start to end of every YouTube video that you create. So for example, maybe you start off with scripting the video, like the whole process, like from the start to the end.
Yeah, I could. So first, like I have to mention that we use Asana as our project management tool, and really any project management tool can work, like Monday.com, Notion, whatever it is. So in there we have our YouTube content production system. So whenever I start the process of a video, it all goes in Asana. So that way it's documented and the whole entire team knows when there's a new video project. So we have a template in there. We go in, duplicate the template. If I don't have the exact title, I'll jot down what the title is going to be. So like one of the most recent videos I posted on my channel was about YouTube Shorts. Like the title was "Everyone's Talking Shit About YouTube Shorts. Here's Why." And so I was like, I really wanted to talk about YouTube Shorts because there's a lot of controversy. It's like, does it work? Does it not work? So I wanted to break that down. So like I wrote that title there. And then there's within Asana, we have like a list of all the subtasks that need to be done. So for me, it's scripting. I still script by hand. I mean, I don't write the whole script, but I do like bullet points and like the main things I want to touch on. Some people use Chat GPT. It's like, whatever. It's not really useful for me just because to me, it's not human yet when it comes to YouTube, in my opinion. So anyway, but I still script, and it doesn't take me that long. It maybe takes me, anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. I'll just jot down in Asana what I'm thinking. Then I have Asana on my phone. And when I film, I literally have my phone like right here as I'm filming. And if I need to reference my notes, I do. And that's how I'm able to do it really quickly. Then after that, it goes to, if I need to do a briefing to the editors, like, hey, right here, like add in this B-roll or whatever it is, I'll do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, because they know really exactly what to do. And then that's it. Then the team handles literally all the rest. So they'll edit.
I see. So you just create the content.
Yeah.
And they
do
everything.
Yeah.
So tell me the workflow of like how they edit the thing and yeah.
You said the flow?
Yeah, the flow of how they edit the thing and then how they maybe do the descriptions, the SEO, the keywords, even the parts that are not handled by you.
Yeah. So then after that, like once the video project is, we move it to the column of editing. So they have it. And then when they're done, they will let the channel manager know. And then she will say, okay, great. They directly upload it to the channel. So it gets uploaded, and then then the channel manager will go, she'll upload the YouTube thumbnail, and then she knows how to optimize all the videos. It's like I've taught her like over the years from doing it myself, but also like we've come up with like a systemized way of doing it. This is something like I teach like literally step by step in the course that in the programs and stuff. And so like she'll go through, optimize it, make sure all the boxes are checked and that it looks good. There's cards, there's an end screen, description, tags. If it's a sponsored video, making sure we have the right link, making sure all the links work, adding subtitles, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then on the day that it's supposed to be published, she'll publish it and make sure to respond to all the comments right in that first 24 hours. Like those comments are really, and even I still like, I love responding to comments. Like, it's enjoyable for me, but I really don't have time to do it. When I do, I will, because I like seeing what people have to say. It's really interesting. But yeah, and then she'll also like make sure that we have something post created in our community tab 5 to 6 times a week. And that's pretty much like an overview of like how it all works. Yeah.
Do you use any AI tools to do the video editing or the descriptions? I know you don't use the AI tools for writing the script yet, but how about editing, writing the description, finding the text, and screen, etc.?
She uses Chat GPT for the description and some things that goes in the description. But just like, she also revises like what it says, because sometimes it'll say something that is a little bit off. So she'll go in and make sure it sounds like good to our brand voice. But that's the biggest part of where she and like the team uses AI, but that's pretty much it. In the editing, no, it's all done by human and, by hand, by their hands right now. Yeah. But it's like, it's interesting because AI, I mean, I saw this tool recently where like you can like AI yourself and then like it'll look like exactly me. It does like everything for you. It's kind of scary, kind of cool, kind of like unknown territory, but it's interesting because it's like all I got to do is like, hey, tell the AI Marissa, like, hey, here's what you're filming today. here's the topics, go. So it's like literally 100% hands off, which is interesting. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The tools they use to do that is either Synthesia, 11 Labs, or Descript. Yeah. If you want to know what it means. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me some tips about YouTube. Like, what's the best time to post, or like how often should you post, or do YouTube Shorts still work? How would you allocate your time? How much to YouTube Shorts? This kind of tips. Yeah.
So your analytics will tell you like when's the best time to post. Like it'll literally say like between 12 to 4 your audience is on YouTube. So then you can like post your videos according to that. YouTube Shorts, like, for those of you who are watching this and want to see like the latest video I made on it, like check it out. The one is like everyone's talking shit about it. YouTube Shorts is a very interesting, it's interesting, like, and we're still trying to figure out if we really like them. We're kind of leaning towards not really, but we're still doing them anyway, just because of testing, you know what I mean? And just seeing maybe something will come up, because it's no doubt that they bring views. It's no doubt that they go viral. And it's no doubt that they can bring people to the channel that weren't there before. The problem is it's kind of like, empty calories. It's like, cool, we have a YouTube short that went viral, but how valuable is that for your brand and your business? Because, in my experience, the people that watch the YouTube shorts, they're never the demographic that you want to sell to. They will probably never return to the channel, even though they subscribed, because YouTube kind of, in my opinion, kind of lied. They were like, oh yeah, YouTube shorts, they're going to think of a way for the short form to connect to the long form. I don't think we've seen that happen yet, where, a long form video is put in the home feed after they've watched a short. So really it's like all up to you. Like meaning the YouTuber, if you want to experiment with YouTube shorts, some people love it, some people hate it. It just really depends. Yeah.
Got it. And so, okay, best time to post. Okay, how often should we post?
Yeah, minimum once a week. Minimum. Anything more than that is really great. But minimum, definitely like once a week is just like the minimum requirement for consistency. And as far as like YouTube shorts, that honestly depends as well. You can post once a week, or you can post like three times a day. Like it just really is up to you and like the capacity of your team.
Awesome. So is there anything you want to give, or any freebie you have, or like if people want to follow you, what's your YouTube channel? And
yeah. So I create on 2 YouTube channels. So if you want to check out my main channel, Marissa Romero, and then we also have a channel called Subscribers to Sales. So that's a channel where I also create with my team. So there's 2 other amazing girls on the team, and they create videos there. It's really amazing, like YouTube for business education. And I think you'll find a ton of value between the 2 channels. So definitely subscribe to those. And then for the freebie, like, yeah, if you go to marissaromero.com/blueprint, you can download our blueprint. It talks about like the 6 steps to kind of like a lot of the things we touched on today. It goes a little bit deeper into like managing your YouTube channel and business in just half the time, right? Because I think that's the biggest thing and constraint with people is like, I don't have the time for YouTube. I've started YouTube. It's a big mess and it's taking up all my time. So that's like been the main thing that I've noticed across the board with entrepreneurs and YouTubers is like, if you don't get the systems in place, and if you don't like try to take yourself out of the whole YouTube operations first, like it can get really frustrating. So that's like kind of the thing that is really important to establish first. So yeah, that was kind of a long-winded answer, but yeah, I would say those are the 2 channels, and then the blueprint as well.
Okay, so that's marissaromero.com/blueprint. Okay, I think I got 1 or 2 more questions. First, is what's your vision for the future? Like I know you mentioned you are changing your business model and all that. What's your vision for the future? Yeah.
Oh, I love this question. So long-term vision is, in 10 years from now, reaching the multi-million-dollar mark in the business and being able to start other businesses. And I'm really, coming from an engineering background, I've had a strong interest my whole life in climate change and environmental engineering. So just really like forming an organization or having a big chunk of the revenue going to a foundation that helps directly fight climate change, whether that's sustainable living, whether that's reusable plastics, like whatever the effort is. So that's really like a big thing in the future. Also, I want to expand my family and be able to, have a digital nomad lifestyle with them and give them global perspective. Like that's really important to me. Like we love traveling. Right now we're traveling. Like I'm not at home. Like I'm in Medellin, Colombia, and so that's the big vision. And really just like help as many YouTube entrepreneurs as possible reduce their workload, create peacefully and profit sustainably. That's our big vision, right? For what we do.
Awesome. And do you have 5 tips for anyone who wants to grow their YouTube channel, whether they are starting from scratch or they have already an existing channel? 5 tips for them.
Yeah, 5 tips. Get your branding on point. Branding, banner, and thumbnail is super important. Choose a color palette, get those defined. And the second thing is like incorporate YouTube with get a strong routine and habit. Form a strong routine and habit because you're not always going to be motivated, right? The other thing is YouTube strategy. Make sure every single video your title is strong and also the copy on your thumbnail. And then the next thing is have a project management tool. Definitely have a system in place to keep track of everything you're doing because it's literally impossible to operate everything from your head. Mm-hmm. Literally impossible. I think that was 4 tips. The 5th one, love the content that you make. I mean, be passionate about it. Like if you're still kind of deciding between different niches or you're feeling maybe pigeonholed, go with creating content that feels aligned and feels like you can evolve as a creator, because that's the biggest, I think, key to avoiding burnout and having success for the long term. Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show, Marissa.
You're welcome. It was fun.